Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sheriff Wayne Ivey, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office.
And I like
And I
this
want to give
guy.
everyone an update this evening on the deputy-involved shooting that took place on Monday, August 30th, when two of our deputies were ambushed by an extremely violent career criminal during a traffic stop in West Melbourne. The attack and ambush was perpetrated by a violent career criminal with a history of 40 charges for crimes including drug trafficking,
Now listen to this,
aggravated
guys.
assault while discharging a firearm, battery on a law enforcement officer, and attempted first.
I mean, listen to these charges that he's got a rap sheet, a mile long, right? Listen to all these charges. Why this menace to society piece of shit was even on the streets is beyond me.
Degree felony murder, as well as convictions for robbery with a firearm, failing to register as a career offender, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, resisting arrest with violence, possession of controlled substances, and various probation violations. Even worse and more disgusting is that this career criminal, whose name doesn't even deserve mentioning, was actually
Correct.
out on bond with active warrants for additional felony drug trafficking cases where he could attempt to kill our deputies, when he should have been safely locked behind bars where he couldn't victimize another citizen or
Got it,
innocent
Savage.
bystander.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm sure that, like me, you're probably asking yourself right now why a thug with this kind of criminal history was ever given a bond. That's a question I promised to find the answer to. But for now, I'm just extremely thankful that our deputies are safe and the suspect is no longer
Thank
on
you,
this
warrior.
planet where he could put someone else's life in peril. As I stated earlier, this incident occurred when one of our deputies conducted a traffic stop in the unincorporated area of West Melbourne on a vehicle that was occupied by 3 adult subjects and a 2-month-old baby that was actually sitting in the back seat where the perpetrator of the...
Holy shit. Now, I didn't know there was a 2-month-old child in the back seat when all this shooting was taking place. You'll be breathless when you see it, knowing that there's a 2-month-old child in the back seat. I didn't know that.
The ambush was seated. The entire traffic stop, ambush, and deputy-involved shooting was captured on 2 separate dash cams. And as you will see in the video that I'm about to show you, the suspect was the initial aggressor as he concealed his weapon until exiting the vehicle and immediately firing upon our deputies with a pistol grip styled high-powered rifle in an attempt to take their lives and avoid arrest as he was
I agree, warrior.
Outstanding warrants. Now I want to caution everyone that the video you're about to see is extremely violent, graphic, and also a perfect example of just how dangerous a job our deputies and law enforcement officers face across the country each and every day. I am first going to play the video for you in its entirety and in real time. Then I'm going to break the video down in slow motion while providing a step-by-step explanation of what was taking place and why the actions of our deputies saved their lives and the lives of others at the scene, including the 2-month-old baby in the back seat of the car that was directly in the line of fire.
No idea there was a child in there.
Individual decided to try and kill our deputies. The video I'm about to show you was captured by the dash camera in the vehicle of Deputy Brian Potters, who was the second deputy to arrive on scene in an effort to assist Deputy Tyler Toman during the traffic stop. The segment of the video I'm going to show you tonight begins immediately prior to the time of the ambush and captures the entire incident that involved a total of 61 rounds being fired within a minute. As I said, the video is graphic
rounds in less than a minute.
And not only captures video of the incident, but the audio of all involved as well. During the video, you will hear music playing in the background that is actually music playing on the stereo of Deputy Potter's car, captured by the internal microphone system of the car as the incident was taking place. Again, the entire ambush and response by our deputies takes place within a minute and sadly captures what our deputies and law enforcement officers from across the country potentially face every day of their lives.
What's that? In the car? All right, partner. He wants to talk to you out here. Is that all you're... Yeah. You got... I'll watch it for you. He's all right. I got babies. Oh, you got a dog too? Hell.
There's a dog in the back seat.
I got babies too, man. Huh? Okay. Shit.
There it is. Look at that shit. You menace to society piece of shit. Where's the other suspects? Where's the other suspects? Who's in the car? Okay, good.
Now, as you can see and hear from the video, this was an extremely violent ambush that both of our deputies and the occupants of the vehicle were extremely blessed to survive. This
Oh, yeah.
individual had absolutely no regard for human life and was focused on only one thing. This is an extremely violent ambush that both of our deputies and the occupants of the vehicle were extremely blessed to survive. This individual had absolutely no regard for human life.
Thank you,
and was
DJ, for
focused
playing
on
the
only one
cards,
thing,
man.
killing our deputies to avoid arrest, as he knew he was facing several minimum mandatory prison sentences in his pending cases. As you can see, the subject not only
What a
fired
piece of shit he was.
numerous rounds at our gun jam, used the butt of the rifle to violently and repeatedly strike Deputy Potters in the head, causing significant injuries and lacerations. Let there be no doubt, this individual got exactly what he deserved. And to those out there who might be foolish enough to ask why we shot him so many times, that answer is simple: because evil can never be dead enough. Now that you've had a chance to see
Correct.
the ambush
I like this
and
sheriff.
response by our deputies as it
Hell
occurred in
yeah,
real
my
time,
man.
I'm going to
Tell it
show you
like
the
it
incident
is.
as
Don't
it unfolds in slow
sugarcoat it.
motion so that you can see exactly what took place and how our deputies responded to the threat.
Now,
So the
this
first
is the
thing we
great part right here. He's going to analyze everything, kind of like I would, but I think he does a better job. You guys be the judge.
see is Deputy Toman talking with the female occupant of the vehicle, while a second occupant of the vehicle is seen leaning against the trunk of the car, where the perpetrator is actually seated in the back seat. I want to be very clear in stating that neither of these two occupants had anything to do with this ambush or criminal activity, and I'm extremely grateful that they were not injured and how they immediately returned to the scene as instructed
Okay,
by Deputy
good.
Toman. At an early point in the video, you observe Deputy Toman asking Deputy Potters to have the third subject exit the vehicle. Prior to this point, Deputy Potters has been very politely conversing with the subject and talking about the 2-month-old baby in the back seat and a dog that was also in the back seat as well.
And here's the thing, that piece of shit didn't even care about the dog, didn't care about the 2-month-old baby or anybody else there, whoever got shot, as long as he got away.
As Deputy Potters asked the subject to exit the vehicle, he is immediately and without warning ambushed with a small stock AR-15 styled rifle that is pointed and fired directly at him. Deputy Potters immediately attempts to avoid being shot by trying to create distance between himself and the shooter, who aggressively opens fire on him as he takes cover at the front of the vehicle. The subject now fires at Deputy Potters from the driver's side of the vehicle and appears to actually get hit himself, as you also hear Deputy Potters announce that he has been hit with gunfire. The subject then goes between the two vehicles, and additional shots can be heard being fired. Deputy Toman and Deputy Potters can now briefly be seen taking a position between Deputy Potters' patrol car and Deputy Toman's patrol unit when the suspect emerges from behind Deputy Toman's patrol unit and violently strikes Deputy Potters in the head with the butt of the rifle.
The deputy
As
made
the
a circle and
suspect
came
repeatedly
back.
batters Deputy Potters in the
Yep.
head with the butt of the gun, the two of them fall to the ground, where the subject continues to strike Deputy Potters in the head with the gun. Deputy Toman at this point gains a tactical advantage on the target
Good.
and fires multiple
Keep
rounds,
shooting.
thus
Wait till your
eliminating the
clip is
threat
empty.
and
Keep
saving
shooting.
Deputy
You still
Potters'
got
life.
bullets.
As a result of the ambush and repeated blows to the head by this violent thug, Deputy Potters sustained a gunshot wound to the lower leg, multiple head lacerations, tissue damage, a concussion, and fractures of the orbital bone and sinuses. Thankfully,
Damn.
Deputy Toman did not suffer any injuries during the incident, and the
Good.
suspect was subsequently pronounced dead from gunshots sustained during the ambush and
Yes.
attack on our deputies.
Excellent.
As you can clearly see from
The
the
world's
video,
a better place.
both of our deputies were in a battle for their lives, as this disgusting and evil individual had a blatant disregard for their lives, the life of others at the scene, and even the life of the 2-month-old baby who was in the car.
Yeah, he's real
He
young.
repeatedly used for cover as he tried to kill both Deputy Potters and Deputy Toman. When I tell you that we are blessed that God was watching over our deputies and those present at the scene, I mean it from the bottom of my heart, and I could not be more proud of the actions of Deputy
No,
Potters
Archangel, I
and
haven't
Deputy
seen
Toman.
that.
This case is a perfect example of what is wrong with our criminal justice system. When a
Yep.
registered career criminal with 23 felony charges, 17 misdemeanor charges, multiple convictions for violent offenses, and
Is
2
out on the
active and
streets.
pending drug trafficking cases is out on our streets where he can attempt to kill our deputies and put others' lives at risk, something is wrong with our system. And it's time
Yep.
that we as a society of law-abiding citizens say, enough is enough. It's time that we as
Yeah,
law-abiding citizens
Saddam
start
Hussein was
demanding
hung.
that violent criminals who can't obey the law are kept behind bars where they can't victimize anyone else.
I don't think
As
they
I
should be
close
kept
tonight,
behind
on
bars.
behalf of Deputy
That's where they get their excellent training. And they cost us taxpayers $40,000 per year per inmate to house them. 40,000.
Toman, Deputy Potters, and their families, and also our entire agency. I
No,
want to
not
personally
Gators.
thank
That's
our community for the amazing support and love for our agency
not
you have
Gators.
shown since this incident occurred last week. Your emails, personal messages, and phone calls of love and prayer
Yeah, American, I
mean more to
know.
us than you will ever
And
know.
they should just hang
And
by
serve
the
as a
neck until
constant
they're
reminder
dead. They're
how
no
blessed
longer
we are to
on
serve a
earth.
community that loves us so much. Thank you.
Hell yeah. I like that guy. I really like that guy.